Hello, everyone. It's Parenting Essentials. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Where is here is Saturday Live. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. I'm trying to see if I'm live in other devices, other platforms. All right, Facebook is live. Okay, let me share YouTube with some group of people. All right, if you are there, you are audible and you can hear me clearly, please let me know. I'll be glad that you can hear me. It's Saturday Live Parenting Essentials. Okay, YouTube is not live yet. Okay. All right. Welcome to Parenting Essentials. This is the home of key strategies to parenting. My daughter was saying that this afternoon. I said, Mommy, you didn't say this for a long time. I said, okay, I'm going to say that today. It's a home of key strategies to parenting, and you are welcome every Saturday live. We come together, and this is called the Parenting Essentials. And today I'll be talking about handling parent-child conflict and resolving disagreement. Wow, it's a very lovely topic we are sharing today. But I know a lot of people will be like, what is parent conflict? Resolving disagreement, parent-child. Is the child and parent supposed to have conflicts? How dare you, my child? All right, we are going to be talking about that briefly today, and I'm going to call it a day. So if you are there with me, okay, I'm just going to go on. I can't see YouTube live, but it's okay. All right, if you're there with me, let me just know that you're there, and I'll be glad you are here. My name is Oye Layo, but you can call me Coach Oye for short. And I'm just going to be out of here in a few minutes, but I believe that this few minutes is going to worth your time. All right, handling parent-child conflict and resolving disagreements. What is that, and what do we want to learn from this today? So, handling parent-child conflict and resolving disagreement is an essential aspect of parenting. It's very, very important. It's an essential aspect of parenting that requires, listen to this, very essentials, and there are quite a lot of things that it requires when it comes to handling parent-child conflicts and on handling disagreement. It requires your patience. Your patience, it requires your empathy, it requires quite a lot of things, effective communication. And I'm just going to be talking about the requirement when we talk about handling, how to handle parent-child conflict. But I know a lot of us that are here or that will be listening to me, what comes to your mind at first is, what do you mean by parent-child conflicts? Am I supposed to have conflict with my child? Is my child even, is it so, are they even supposed to, my children, are they even supposed to be thinking of having conflict with me as their parent? Because you think you're just an authority, and that is where we are getting it wrong. When you have a child at this point that cannot have conflicts with you, that cannot come a little bit by saying no to your opinion because you think they are not entitled to have that with you, you have something that is dealing with you, and you need to chase that thing out. I believe every visionary will not be in that position that they feel that their child, how dare you have conflict with me? Depending on the kind of child or the kind of children you're raising, this is going to bring you back to your, if you have at all the family values, what you are doing, your goals. But I believe if you are raising somebody who is going to be useful, who have self-opinion, who can stand test of time, your child should be able to have issues with you, not something bad, at least disagreement, and you have a time that you can resolve situation. I'm not talking about being rude. I'm not talking about naughty children. I'm talking about reasonable conversations. So there are quite a lot of things that you have to put in place when you're thinking about handling this kind of situation. So I'm going to be just be breaking them down bit by bit as we go. So I'm going to be sharing some strategies for you to handle your parent-child conflict or resolving a disagreement. How can you go about it? I'm just going to be I will share few strategies rather, and I'm going to get out of here. Number one strategy that you can use as a sensitive parent, as a skillful parent, as an intelligent parent that you are, that I believe that you are, when you want to deal with your child's, when you want to resolve conflict or disagreement, is to remember to stay calm. It is very important for you to remember to stay calm. Staying calm is a must. It's very important for you to stay calm. And this is one thing that is important when you're dealing with your child's, when you're dealing with conflict with your child. So when conflict arises, it is important for parents, caregivers, intelligent ones to stay calm and composed. It is important for you to stay calm and be composed. So you have to take the moment to correct your thoughts. What thought are you supposed to correct? How dare that child say no to me? How can the child just not say yes? How can the child not also agree? Must she raise a point? Must he raise a point? You have to correct your thought because you think you are principality and power. If you have been listening to me for a while, I'll tell you that you are not supposed to be principality and power to your children. So what are you going to work on first? You're staying calm. How can you stay calm in the kind of situation? Is to correct your thoughts. Think about your thought. Think about the emotions. So you're going to process this right. I know that, okay, the children actually they're entitled to their own opinion. This is going to help you to stay calm, that their opinion, the fact that it's against yours or is not the same thing with your opinion, does not mean it is wrong, does not mean you're not a good parent, and it doesn't mean that they are rude, as long as they are disagreeing appropriately. And these are topics I've treated before, that we should teach our children how to disagree appropriately. So it's very important for you so you have to avoid reacting impulsively. Some parents want your children say no to you, or they say something that is not your opinion, but their opinion. You're just going to say things without thinking about it. Because in your head, by default, you're also a victim of somebody. So I understand that. That was how you were brought up. You just feel like, how dare you? You don't see any reason why your children should stand their ground. So you have to avoid reacting impulsively or just escalating the situation. If you think deeply, you know that most of these situations that do occur between parent and children, it's actually the parent that they get to make this situation get escalated. And why do you think it's happening to parent? It's because of the initial mindset. It's because of the thought and belief of who we think we are, that the children are not entitled to certain things. So when you are still in this kind of category, I'm telling you, you have a lot of things to deal with. You need help. You need to drop those baggages. This the feeling of, how dare you talk to me? They are baggages. You have carried them long enough. It's high time you dropped them. You have carried these baggages enough. I'm encouraging you to drop them and to reflect and to know that you are raising these children and they are entitled to their own opinion. And I will encourage you to teach them how to say no or disagree appropriately. Number two thing that you have to do. Number one, that I've just explained, calm down. I just a little bit buttress that. The second thing you have to do when you are handling this kind of situation is to listen actively. Larger percentage of parents, caregivers, do not listen. You do not listen because you even feel, why do I need to listen to a child with the opinion even count? Again, I bring it back to principality and power. If you are still in that category, please do something fast. So it's very important for you to resolve any issue, for you to do active listening. You have to listen actively. Be patient and listen. You have to practice listening by giving your child full attention and validating their feeling. I always tell people, the fact that you're saying something is blue and somebody is saying green does not mean anybody is right. You don't even know if I have a side effect or not. You don't know if you have side effect. But if you have side effect and you're not aware and you're looking at blue like green, you will still keep saying it's green. And because this is what you can see for sure, you will argue it till eternity. And I do tell people, when people are in this kind of situation, if they go for lie detective test, they're going to pass. It's going to be successful because this is what they see. So when we start to think about these things, we start to handle situation like this, we are going to be able to handle our own emotion. To become an emotionally intelligent parent, it takes a lot of things. It takes a lot of impulse control. I've said stay calm. Number two, active listening. It is very important. So you have to encourage your children to express themselves openly. When all you do every time is to shut them down, when they're about to express themselves, you might not be able to resolve any situation with them. You might not be able to handle any parent-child conflict or resolve any disagreements. Keep quiet, shut up. And some people by default, even when you're joking, what comes to your mind is keep quiet, shut up. When you're serious, what comes to your mind is keep quiet, shut up, because it's by default. You've patterned yourself because that's the way you were brought up. And I will encourage you to drop those baggages today. So encourage them to express themselves openly. It's very important. And to be honest, when you always shun them off, when they know that you always just want to hear what you want to hear, they will not be honest with you anymore. The children are very smart. The children of this generation are super smart, and they can easily read through the parent. When they know that, okay, if I say like this, mommy just going to shout and say no. They know that this is actually what mommy wants me to say or what daddy wants me to say. They will always give you what you want to hear. And I can tell you categorically that you are packaging danger. There is a big danger ahead. The child is not safe and you also are not safe. The end can be so disruptive. So you have to learn, cultivate, build the skill of doing active listening so that they can come open to you. They can be honest. They can just, without being judged, they have the feeling of, I'm not going to be judged anyways. There is the difference between you correcting your child and judging your child. And there is a lot of people cannot separate judgment, a judgmental statement, to correction of situation. And these are the skills that you have to learn if you are indeed intentional as a parent. You have to learn it. Number 3 thing you have to do is to clarify misunderstanding. It is very important. Clarify misunderstanding. You staying calm. Number 1, you listen actively. You clarify misunderstanding. Sometimes what is really causing bringing about the misunderstanding, it's actually nothing serious, but you have not taken time to just look into the situation and clarify it. So oftentimes conflict can arise, misunderstanding can arise, but you have to ensure that you take time to look into it, take time to clarify it. Any misunderstanding, check through it. Ensure that both sides, both you and your child, have clear understanding of the situation. Sometimes when you as parent are actually, and call it ranting, the children are looking at you like this because they are lost. They don't understand why. I will say again, you are ranting. But to you, because they are not saying anything, the child is actually muted at this point. You just say, you are very rude. I'm even talking. You are not responding. Hello. I know sometimes I feel for our children, they're actually victim of our lack of skills most of the time. The child is actually taking control of self-emotion and trying to understand the situation, trying to get clarity. But what you're supposed to do as an adult, as the parent, you are not taking your time to get clarity, to understand the misunderstanding, but the child is doing so, but you're still going to blame the child for doing so. I'm talking to you. Why are you just looking like that? Why are you just standing there? The child is just still confused. The child is just lost. So, to be a very skillful and intelligent parent, that you want to handle parent-child conflicts successfully, you have to learn how to clarify misunderstanding, make clarity of why the misunderstanding, what causes the misunderstanding. Another important point I'm going to tell you today, I call it number 4, is to apologize where necessary. Why a lot of parents do not want to hear this? Coach, what do you mean? I should apologize to my child? Yes, you will. You will. Some people just say quite a lot of things without thinking about it. We say a lot of things in the name of I'm an intentional parent, but you are not even looking at what exactly intentionality is all about. I show them, I do modeling. Everybody knows all the point now. So all these coaches, we know what they want to say. It's not enough to say what we are saying, but ability to understand and put it to use is what we are talking about. Anybody can sit down and teach. That is totally okay. And they will say modeling, do this. You can plant all this modeling, but are you truly, sincerely, genuinely modeling what you're supposed to model to your children? You apologize when you realize that you have misjudged it. So many times, when you just take a pause, take a moment and look at the situation critically, you will know that you just misunderstood the whole situation as a parent. You just blew it out of hand. So when this such a situation happen, it is not a problem. It is not. There's no need for said ego. Not saying giving your child an apology does not reduce your authority. You have only earned a badge, and you have only succeeded in teaching your child skill of admitting when they are wrong. Oh, I apologize about that. I didn't realize that what happened. I apologize. It's not a problem. It should be a norm to anyone who said I'm an intentional parent. I know what I'm doing. And when I talk about apologizing where necessary, I'm not talking about you when you now know that you're wrong. Go and take one biscuit in the fridge. That is not apologies. I'm not saying that, okay, go and take one banana. Their food, the biscuit is the child's. The banana is the child. So stop twisting things. When you continue to do this to them, they will also learn this cunning skill and push it on. They will see apologies as a problem. And I always bring it back to our marriages. A lot of homes are struggling today because these skills was missed. This kind of skill was missed or was not mastered. They saw it as an issue. They never saw their mom apologizing to any of them before, or their dad. They've never seen their dad saying sorry when necessary. And you just pass the message across to the brain that it's a problem. It's a big deal. When I say sorry or I say I apologize, I reduce my ego or I reduce my authority. Please, let's be conscious of this when we actually want to handle a situation, when we want to learn perfect way to handle parent-child's conflicts or resolution. It's very important. Apologize. Don't say go and take chocolate. Leave the chocolate. You bought the chocolate for the child. If you don't want to give the chocolate, please keep chocolate to yourself. When it's time to say I am sorry, please, parent, do say I am sorry. Don't use chocolate or whatever treat you have that you think the child will actually fall for it to let the situation sleep. No, please, let's work on it. The fifth thing you have to do is to express empathy. Sometimes when you take time to look at the situation critically, the child is actually wrong and the child will come to realization because you're communicating. It's a two-way thing and it's a clear conversation, age-appropriate communication. And if you have been building that skill within your home and within your children, they will come to realize when they mean, oh, mommy, that's true. I understand. And sometimes they feel bad and they start to cry. It is not the time to say, okay, keep quiet, but I told you before, keep quiet, but I told you didn't want to agree. But not because the coach said we should be saying so. That's why I'm explaining to you. I told you before, it is not the time to, you are still ranting. No, it is time to come to agreement with a child and express your sympathy. Let the child be aware that you actually, I understand how you feel, because even if it's you were the one, you will have as well do the same thing. You say, I want to raise an amazing children. We all are saying these things, but it's not by saying, it's by doing. And when we say by doing the right thing, only doing the right thing can give us the right result. So show empathy and understanding towards the child's feeling and concern. I understand what your concern is. I understand how you feel. Even if you still disagree, sometimes your disagreements still stand. But because just the example I talked about the green and blue, nobody's actually wrong. You get to the point that nobody's actually wrong when you think about it. But that does not mean you should not still show empathy. So you acknowledge the emotion of the child, the feeling of the child. You validate it. Why are you validating the feeling of your child? Because that child still has the right to express self-emotion. So you validate it. It's not the time to stop crying. Are you not strong? What is this? Small thing, you are crying. Are you not a big girl? Are you not a big boy? Please stop telling your boys, your girls that they are big girls and boys that they should not cry. Validate their feelings is very important. It's a major part of growth that they need. They need to let out their emotions. And sometimes, we have to also allow them to let out the negative emotions also. When we talk about, let me use play therapy as an example. When you come into the play therapy room, there is provision for child or for client, right? But in this case, I will just say child, to let out the positive and the negative emotions. So in play therapy, we have something like a toy gun, everything sword and things like that. Because if you just let them, especially those kids, I'm talking about kids on the spectrum in this case, and some of them is not basic, maybe they cannot, I don't want to go in that, okay, leave it away. But we allow them to let out their emotions. It is very important. It's bring about reliefs. It's bring about, you get to know what level they are. Allow them to let out the emotions. And sometimes when you see your children throwing tantrum, you quickly want to do something, you want to stop it. Sometimes you might need to ignore and let them throw the tantrum. It's letting out emotions. I'm taking too long on this point. The next point you're going to do is to seek common ground. You have validated their feelings. You apologize where necessary. You have expressed empathy to let them know that I'm on the same page with you. You have the right to your feelings and I understand how you feel. Then you seek a common ground. Okay? You seek a common ground. What I'm seeing this side is green, but from your side, I can see it look like blue. It's a common ground. When we don't teach these skills to our children, I have been privileged to counsel quite a number of couples. And when we talk about challenges in marriage, you'll be dazed. What causes issue in some homes? What can cause issue in some homes can be, as I've said this quite a lot. I said this a few years ago. I was live with Adenka, and I remember I was saying this when she asked me to advise the single. I remember I mentioned this, that some homes are suffering because of solid, let's say Eba. Eba is solid Gary. In case you don't know what Eba is, Gary, solid one. Some people in their home, they are eating hard one, strong one. And maybe the other person, the spouse, they eat in their home very soft. And if they lack the skill of seeking a common ground, that can break home. And this is how the home is going to start breaking. Make your own, I'll make my own. Somebody's already boiling. Maybe it's the husband that likes to eat strong or hard. But the wife, how can I make two? How can I do it? You have to teach your children these skills. They might sound little, but these skills are going to help them in later future. If they cannot see common ground in their home now that you have, what are they going out with? They handle situation in their businesses, their career, their marriage. So when we are shouting about these skills today, it is not just for now. It is a skill that is going to sow a massive seed that is going to germinate, and they'll be able to use it when needed. They'll be able to use these skills when necessary. Because they are used to it anyways. You disagree at home, you reach common grounds, everybody's happy. Okay, now they are married. One Eba is strong, one Eba is soft. Then we reach common ground. Can you make the hard one a little bit softer? And the one that is eating super soft, then you take a step. I will make it a little bit hard. So everybody's happy at the end of the day. And that is what love entails. Love is not one-sided. Marriages are breaking today. I can shout and shout and shout that these are little skills that quite a lot of adults missed as a child. Quite a lot of adults have missed so many skills. They are also a victim of their parent. But the sad thing is their parents were also victim of another parent. Some of them actually learned these skills, but it was not mastered. So what many of us are doing now is we are actually teaching these skills, but are you getting to the position of masteries? Are we getting our children to the position of masteries? But because it's not enough to learn a skill, but it is very important for our children to master the acts, for them to master the skills. So when they later in life, they'll be able to use it. All right, so you focus on finding mutual beneficial solution. Practice it within siblings. Let them, like for example now, maybe you have 2 children or more, as you are blessed. They are always having conflicts, which is not a problem, but you are always the saving ground, the saving grace. If you don't contribute, if you are not there for them, they cannot solve their issues. It's a problem. This is a skill that they're supposed to learn now. If your children cannot solve siblings' rivalries between each other, you are not building them for the skill they need later in life. So sometimes you're just going to be intentionally say, go and talk about it, let's discuss it and get back to me. My people, they are aware here. 1 minute you can hear precious, peculiar, mommy. This is how I'm just going to be looking at you guys. Okay? They talk there. Okay, you go back and talk about it and everything is going to be happy. Before I know it, they're happy. But if every time you want to listen to the story, I will not even listen to their story. I'm not interested. Go and talk about it. Go talk about it, settle it, and see what happened and how you can fix it. This is a skill that we have to be intentionally about. We have to be intentional about teaching them this skill. It is very important. Another thing we have to focus on the solution. Let's go back to the main point today, which is parental conflict between you and your child. I'm just trying to buttress so that we can learn from the other aspect. That's why I'm just saying everything as it comes to my mind. I believe that's what God wants somebody to hear. So when we talk about focus on the solution, instead of dwelling on the problem, what a lot of parents do is to dwell on the problem because you have warned before. The fact that you warned the child beforehand and the child still went ahead and that problem occurred does not mean you have the right to dwell on the problem. You know, can I say you something today? The fact that always saying, but I told you, I said it, I did that. Do you know you lack skill as a parent also? And I'm not apologetic about it. There's a certain part of your brain that has not developed. Is that this? Oh yeah, stop it. But I need to tell you the truth. You just want to reinforce that. I said it before. Now you're seeing it. This is why this happened. This is why this happened. You need to grow. Some part of your brain need to develop. You need to grow. It's a childish behavior. Very childish. She said, I didn't tell you before. I said it. Can you stop focusing on the problem? Yes, you said it before because you are the parent. Yes, you're supposed to see it before because you're going to see ahead. And the fact that they still went ahead does not make them a bad child. They are children. They will test ground. They will test water. Your job is not to focus on the problem. Use it as an avenue to teach instead of dwelling on the problem. So dwelling on the problem is not going to yield results. You focus on finding solution together. I'm not saying you cannot say you said it before. Of course, you can refer to it, but not like emphasis. And you just want to stand on authority. You don't want to help them. I told you, go away. I've said that before. That's what you should see. That is what some parents even tell their children, I'm actually waiting for you to fall down because I told you before. Hello. So you have to focus on finding solution together. This is going to be like a learning curve for the child. You talk about it. Let them think, okay, what do you think is going to be the solution so that this will not be a reoccurrence? Allow them to do critical thinking at those points. You brainstorm ideas, opinions for resolving the conflict or the situation. You just, you be calm. Let's stay calm. You have to encourage your child to contribute their own suggestion. Oh, mommy, I think because this thing is the other, if you move this couch this way, maybe it's going to be better. Please let them think and give suggestion. It's going to help. So with that, you're going to collaborate in finding the solution and the strategies that you can use or that is going to work for both parties. Maybe you and your child or from one child to the other. Please, it's very important. Focus on solution, not emphasizing on the problem. Another thing you have to learn is to set clear boundaries. I believe that is clear enough, even if I don't say a word on that. Set clear boundaries. You have to establish a clear boundaries and expectation for a behavior. If your child is reoccurring, a negative habit is a reoccurrence. Instead of me saying, I told you before it happened, no, this is time for you to announce, sit and talk about it. And say, if this thing happen again, this is what is going to happen. Talk about it and let the child also give. I remember something happened today, and I was talking to my children and I said, we have to have a meeting because it seems this one we talked about it like 2-3 times already. So we are going to have a meeting later tonight, and we're going to put a consequence. And they said, okay, mommy, because everybody is aware we are used to this. So I'm not just going to come with the consequences. We are going to sit together and look at the situation and say, this is going to be the consequences. We discuss about it. Everybody's happy. So with that, the brain is awoken, not what I'm coming to them as a principality. He said, we are having a meeting later tonight because it's as if I'm repeating myself on this. I've repeated myself like 3 times, and that is more than enough. Now we need to have a meeting and put consequence. So we need to learn how to set clear boundaries. Clearly define the consequences, not the one you think in your head. And the child, like, they're just lost. Let them know if they do this one, this is what comes after it. And don't forget that this is not about you. Why some of us are always still boiling when it comes to consequences is because you think it's about you. You think it's about to show the child. Now, no, it's not about you. We are still learning. Even when you go through with your consequences, it's still not about you. It's still about the child. It's still about the growth of the child. But until we understand this thing, we are just going to get everything mixed up. So define your consequences and for breaking a rule. Define it, let it be clear. When this happens, this is what happens. You have to also emphasize the opportunity for growth and learning from the mistake. This is the mistake they have done now. Look for something that you're going to use to teach them growth, to let them learn something. So that's where the skills comes in. So you have to be a skillful parent. It is important for you to be a skillful parent. So you also teach problem-solving skills. I think I've treated this topic alone before. Problem-solving skills. It is a must. It's not negotiable for every parent with vision to teach their children how to go about solving problem. Is a skill. This is one major part also that many adults today that they have an issue in their businesses and marriages lack or they didn't master it. Small thing. Oh yeah. Kalas, finish. It's a skill. And with some of these skills, if you want to learn it as an adult, you have to so much be intentional to get the skills because it will take extra work. So why can't we just teach our children these skills now at early stage so that their life will be easier? Some couple cannot discuss. Even some, they don't even discuss because they cannot agree. There's nothing you want to say that makes sense in the hearings of the other one. They can't come to a compromise because they lack the skill of problem solving rather. So you have to use conflict and disagreement as an opportunity to teach your child valuable problem solving skills. Anytime you have disagreement, anytime there is conflict around the house, it's a big avenue for you as a caregiver, as parent, to teach them this skill. It's an avenue for you. So you have to model that problem-solving strategies through your own actions too. When things go wrong around the house, it's an avenue also to you to model it to them, to show them. Sometimes something can happen that can cause panic. Naturally, if you are not the type that have impulse control or can handle your emotions and take charge of your emotion. So you teach them this skill by you not blowing things out of proportion. And even when you see that things are going wrong, still telling them to stay calm, everything will be okay. Let's take a step at a time. And that is when we can get headway. Teach them, let them be able to handle these emotions. Problem-solving skills is a must for you as a vision. If you have vision, let me just call it intentional. But if you have vision for you to teach your children to see ahead, all these skills you are sowing seed now. By the time it germinates, the children will be sending you blessings in future. They will be blessing you that they, let me ask you a question. What advantage are you to your children? What advantage to your children you being their parent? To what advantage are your children getting because you are their father? If you are a man here, can you just take a moment and think about it? Can my children say, I'm very privileged because this is my father? Can your children sincerely say, I'm very privileged because this is my mother? What a great advantage. So to what advantage? The moment we start thinking about it, the better for us. What are your children going to send to you later in life? Is it blessings? Is it the other thing? Let's do what we need to do. Let's do what we need to do now. Now. Why it is day now. This is now. Don't wait. They are growing. Choose your battle. It is very important for you to choose your battle. To choose your battle is not every battle you can fight. A lot of BP that parents are having today is because they lack the skill of choosing their battle. There's not everything we can resolve, but choose your battle. What you cannot change, you cannot change. What you can change, you can change. Learn the skill of choosing your battle, all right? Not every disagreement needs to be turned into confrontation. Didn't I tell you? Why did you wear this? What is the child has dressed? It's not revealing. It's not a problem. But because the child is coming out with you and you feel like green is not matching yellow, then you have hypertension on that. You make me wait my time. We have to go and change now. Now I'm late. Choose your battle. It's a skill. You have to learn it for your own good. If you don't learn the battle, how to choose your battle, you cannot handle parent-child conflict. You cannot learn to resolve confrontations. You have every right. It's your battle. I look at this. Is it how you are going? Okay, the Lord be with you. I choose my battle. I choose my battle. Because if you don't learn to choose your battle, the negative effect is very terrible. This is the sandal you want to wear on this. Yes, mommy, it's hot. This is what I want. Okay, the Lord be with you. You go in peace and come back. Am I going to, okay, are some people going to see them where they are going and say, this mommy is not serious and she's a coach? They are going to say that, but it's not my business. That is their business. I will say it again. I know I've said this to all the visioners, that you have no point to prove. You have nothing to prove to anybody, not even to yourself. Why a lot of people lack the skill of choosing battle is because you think you still have to prove point to people. Hello? Look at the mom. Look at the kid. They will go and sit down there. Let them say. Let them say. Choose your battle. You have no point to prove to them, not to yourself, not even to you as a father, not even to you as a mother. Please learn. This is how you can get peace of mind. Choose your battle wisely. It is very important for your health. It is important for your safety. And it is important for your well-being. Also, the well-being of your child. They don't end up seeing you as a nagging parent. You know, some of these children have ended up seeing their parent as nagging parent because the parents lack how to choose battle. They lack the skill of choosing their battle. So please, I'm going to be rounding up now so that because of time, lead by example. I've already said something similar. I'm just going to skip that. You follow through. When you give consequences, please follow through. Follow through. Don't say, my child said, please. My child has already said, can I? I've had these questions many times that, coach, we had these consequences, we had the discussion, but my child actually did something and we had the consequences, but my child actually genuinely apologized, genuinely cry and teary, very emotional, say, mommy, I will never do this again in my life. Should I still allow my child to go through with the consequence? Daddy, I promise I will never do this again. Should I still allow that child to go through with the consequence? Yes, please. Consequences are not problems. It's just it's going to gear up the brain and set a reminder. It's going to do a default setting to the brain. Even though that time, if the child is genuinely sorry, I tell you that child will go through that consequences with joy, knowing that this will not happen again. But if your child is restricting, this is where you are not emotionally intelligent as parent. The child is having all the time to beg you, to wail, to cry, to give you sweet words. You're the best mommy. But when you say you're still going to go through, they cry, oh, I don't want to go there. They have not learned. Genuinely, you see the children saying, okay, I'll go and do my consequences. But I know that will not happen again because I've learned my lessons. So when the child starts, maybe something very big, you can reduce it because you can see the genuineness that the child has learned something, but not the one that will come to you. I promise you, I will never do it again. I don't know if you have drama queen or king in your house. They are very smart. Don't fall for it. All right. So go through. So you reflect and learn. It's very important. After the conflict has been resolved, after everything is okay now, you take time to reflect on the experience and you identify any lesson learned. So just like the one I was just saying now, so when the child happily go through the consequence, maybe you are reducing it, that's fine. So you now take time, when you're reducing it, take time to reflect. Talk about it again and let the child highlight, underline the lessons that has been learned. You know, you share experiences, you tell the child, be on the same page. Don't make it yourself. When you are giving your children consequences and you're still making it yourself, you're gonna do it. It's not about you. This is why they feel is a problem. All right, reconnect and repair. I am going to call it a day. I can't finish this note. All right, any question? I can see you there, Auntie T, Annie. I can see you there, Sister Annie. Who else is there? All right, those people drop comments. Christopher Mosoto. Thank you for joining me, brother. God bless you. Any question, Auntie T? Auntie T, you are writing. My big coach is writing. Encourage your children to open up. Yes, it is very important. When we always shut them off, when we always shut them down, they will just tell you what you want to hear. And a lot of people are saying, I trust my child. She cannot do that now. My child dare not, because they've patterned the child to tell them what they want to hear. And that is why this topic is going to be weird to a lot of people, because they are raising robots unknowingly. My child dare not. How do we even get to the point of parent-child conflict in the first place? They don't see any reason why parent-child conflict should come to place in the first place, because when I say, the child just do. You have an issue, you should be worried. Worried for yourself, be worried for your child. because there is fire on the mountain. If that is the kind of children you are raising, you just say they do. My child tests me everything. My child will not do this, you're on your own. Any question, anybody? Any question, anybody? Seek common ground. Yes. All right. Any question? If you don't have question, I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. I am glad you are here, and I want to say thank you, Sister Annie, for joining. Auntie T, I love you. Thank you for joining. I love you, Sister Annie. I love everyone that is there that is not dropping comments, but I can see you are there. I want to say thank you for joining me today on today's Saturday Live. So if you're just seeing my face for the first time, this is called the Parenting Essential, and is the home of key strategies to parenting. I said that at the beginning of today's session. I said, my daughter was saying that today in the kitchen. I said, Mommy, it's been quite a long time you said this. And I told her I'm going to say this today. This is Parenting Essentials. It's home of key strategies to parenting. So I'm going to give her a report that actually said that. This is how we roll. We say what we do what we say. All right, thank you for joining me. And if you're seeing my face for the very first time, my name is Oye Layo, because you can just call me Coach Oye for short. And I am your parenting coach. And this is coming to you from the Vision Guide. Please do well and follow us on every of our social media platform. Presently now, we are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. Through Facebook is live now. The Vision Guide. My personal account, Olaoye Esther Oyelayo. The YouTube is live. Instagram is live. My LinkedIn is live. So we are live on 5 different platforms. So do well and just follow us and join us anywhere on this platform. I'm glad that you are here. Love you so much. Love you. I'm glad that you are here, and I'll see you next week by the grace of God, if Jesus tarries, on another wonderful episode. Bye for now. I love you. As we go, don't forget that parenting must be intentional. Parenting must be purposeful. Parenting must be full of vision. What happened to this vision? This vision must be carried jealously, because only the Vision guides. See you and stay blessed. Bye for now.